stay home and wash your hands and listen to the Fraudcast.
In the States or abroad, no one's safe from the talkers of fraud. In the States or abroad, no one's safe from the talkers of fraud.
The following goes beyond the show and beyond the gram to bring you all the fraud that's fit to be uncovered. This is the Fraudcast, and now, here are your fraudcasters, Hanakawa and Katrina.
Washing your hands, good advice we can't get enough of in the past few weeks.
Do you think that the American public is realizing just how poor we were at hand hygiene prior to all this?
I think like everyone had it in their mind to wash their hands after they did things that were dirty, but I don't think many people lived in the shoes of germaphobes who are constantly in fear of everything they touch. I think we have a little taste of what it's like to be scared of every substance or every surface or everyone.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's been pretty interesting for me. I've been, self-quarantined for almost a week now. Obviously I can go outside and everything, but yeah. So I'm still obviously washing my hands and everything. We recognize that there's this thing going on around us, right?
Right. This thing is called
COVID-19, coronavirus. Whatever, our world is changing into this like weird apocalyptic pseudo, like I don't know what's happening. It's very strange. I've been unusually zen about it because I guess just, it is what it is, right? But there's a lot going on, and I don't know about you, but I'm really grateful for the escape of our 90-day fiancés. To watch.
I think that has been a major help, and I'm curious to see actually what the ratings look like. I think our ratings Instagram folks need to post to see if we actually surpassed Walking Dead. Because I think in a time like this, people are more like, yeah, no, this is too real. I need some shit to watch.
Right. That's how I am. I'm sort of getting my fill of all of the news and the other stuff, and I'm like, I need some complete distraction, so I put on this stuff. So I'm really glad. I also, I recommend if you looking for other distraction and you want to go back in the 90-day franchise, I recommend seasons 2, 3, and 4 in that order of the regular OG 90-Day Fiance, and then seasons 1 and 2 of Happily Ever After.
There you go. If you're looking for stuff to watch, right? Because I think everyone knows what the recommendations are. I think it's to stay inside right now as much as you can. Mm-hmm. Don't be around people of 10 or more. Of course, by the time you hear this could change. So, always refer to the most reliable sources you have. So is it CDC, who you have I always forget his name. I want to call him Dr. Gauci.
Our Lord and Savior, Dr. Fauci.
There we go. Almost there.
Our lead infectious disease doctor who's sort of guiding our response to this. I like him. He's no nonsense. Don't listen to us. Listen to him and your health departments and your school health departments and whatever's going on with all of that. We recognize that all of this is going on, and the need for our shit shows is sort of even more necessary, I think, as a good escape. So the good thing about podcasting is that we do this from our houses, right? So, and we have always done this via Skype because we live in different places. So we don't have to be around each other, and our show can go on.
Right. It's like the ultimate social distance.
Yes, very much so. I'm in a room with the door closed, alone, looking at you on the computer screen. So with all of that said, do you want to just talk about this episode a little bit?
I do, because it was most interesting. And I think we wanted to also kind of give a preface to what the style of the podcast is going to look like.
That's what I was asking.
Yeah, in times where we don't have fraud, because there's not always fraud. Or if there's something, it's so minute that it's not worth making an hour show about. So if there's fraud, we're all about reporting it. We'll be the ones front line giving it to you. Yeah, it's not dirty. But we also want to make sure that we have something awesome for you to listen to. So when there's not fraud to report, we're going to carry on and cover the show in our own fun way. And if anyone's listened to our Patreon, they know that we are, I would still consider it a soft recap.
Yeah, I mean, it's a recap.
Less soft recap when there's more fraud.
Yes. It's not your mama's recap.
It's not your mama's recap. So, I think you and I really discussed it as we still want to come and make a podcast, and we don't want to be digging at the very bottom of the barrel to find something to just, label it as fraud. So,
yeah, some weeks are bigger than others when it comes to the fraud and investigations, and, we can't always get interviews or other things to report on. So we're going to cover the show in our own sort of twisted way.
We'll see how twisted it is at the end, right?
Yeah. I'll try to keep it rated G for you guys. So that said,
so you want to get into it?
Let's get into it.
We are on episode, I believe, 4 of Before the 90 Days. I think this one was titled "Baby Be Mine."
Baby love.
Be mine. No,
baby love. Baby love. Let's start with baby love.
Let's start with baby love. Let's start with baby loves. I think they both call each other that.
Baby loves.
So where we left off with them, I think Lisa was on the bed, hot and ready to go. Oh, right?
Yeah. She had just landed, and she was all stinky and gross, and she wanted to get that raw dog on.
Oh, I didn't want to be reminded of that. I forgot about that.
So we opened this show with them in bed the morning after.
Right. And they seem pretty intimate still. They seem like they probably had a good night. I think that the hardest thing is just watching and going, like, for me, it's more like they just woke up and they're kissing. Like, I don't care how fucking in love you are. No.
Morning breath.
Morning breath. Like, that's a serious thing for me. Like, I can't do it.
I don't know. It's not that bad.
I don't know. I have a complex, I guess.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's been way too long since I've had to really deal with that since...
True, your guy is up before you, right?
Yeah, he's up and gone by 3 a.m., so... yeah, so they had sex, and they talk a little bit in their talking heads about it, and I loved how Usman was like, well, it was like 70% good.
It was 70% good of what he expected, which we've heard something like this before, but I like how he actually sets it like, how there's 100%? Well, this was like 70%. You know what? That's just fucking great for me. That's all I need to reach.
Which was acceptable,
70%.
yeah.
That was acceptable. And I'm like, oh, Lord.
And then they show her talking head, and she's talking about the differences between their cultures sex-wise and what that means. And she's talking about, and she mentions oral sex. Now, does that mean that he's against it on it being performed on him, or more likely he doesn't want to do it to her?
I have so many issues because I'm like, you can't tell me that he has never heard of oral sex.
Right.
Ever. Or he's heard of it and he just hasn't done it because maybe culturally or religion-wise, I don't get started on the religion part, maybe that's not something they do, but having sex before marriage is also something that they may not. I don't know. I'm just kind of
like... Yeah,
like...
we've seen this before, though, right? With some other couples and their religion and how their and to be honest, I mean, in your real life, there are real men that are like this in real life. But we saw this, I think we saw it with Anna and Marcel. We saw it with, did we see it with Rebecca and Zied? I think we saw it with Laura and
oh yeah, they
Aladdin.
hit it quick too. And maybe it's like, hey, I'm already like going outside my parents' wishes by marrying like an American woman or marrying someone 30 years older than me. Fuck it, might as well do everything.
But like, the whole performing oral sex, because we know that it's not necessarily a Nigerian thing, because we know Michael did the BJ for real. Right?
He did. He got the BJ for real. But maybe Angela introduced it to him and he just was having withdrawals while she was gone.
But then we also had that where there was a scene with Angela and Michael where she said something and it was bleeped out. You won't bleep my bleep. And so the speculation is that she said, you won't eat my coochie.
Kuka. Yeah. And maybe he won't. I don't know.
So
we all know guys in our personal lives that want it but won't give it. So that's not too far off of the possibility.
Correct. And so we get to be treated to Lisa discussing that. And if I discuss Lisa's coochie getting eaten out anymore, then I might lose my dinner.
Well, the one thing we know is that Usman said, or Soulja Boy, said he was not lazy about it. So I'm guessing he put in some effort.
He wasn't lazy about it.
I wasn't lazy about it. I was like, oh, Lord.
Oh, God. Okay.
Oh, but really, how much effort does he have to put in to not appear lazy to Lisa?
Oh, that's true. She was probably, like, all over him. Like.
Right.
Yeah.
The He-Man came out in her.
Ooh. Okay.
Anyways, moving on.
So then they go out to breakfast.
They're going out to breakfast before they travel, 3 hours to
his home.
His home, which I don't know if it's in another state or it's in a part of the state that he's in. Mm-hmm. But he then, I guess the conversation after, she has to profess her love by eating whatever they were having for breakfast. They were having...
It's like cabbage and pasta, yeah.
And meat. And I'm like, was there a banquet the night before and they just got all the fucking leftovers?
Is that traditional Nigerian breakfast? I don't know. I have no idea.
I need to know. I've never known spaghetti to be Nigerian breakfast, but it's been a while since I have had breakfast with a Nigerian person. So,
well, also we know that Matt Sharp loves this foreign food being hoisted upon our unassuming American. So
right.
So we have that the gratuitous food scene, and then we have Goofballs 2.0. This season's version of the Goofballs, Usman's friends, right. Giant and Usman, and they talk about Usman needing his mom's approval.
Right. And I guess in conversation
to marry Lisa. Sorry, I had to finish.
To marry Lisa, yeah. They need his mom's approval, which, I mean, we kind of already know from watching Michael and Angela's story that that's a big thing. Mm-hmm. So I think Lisa thought that he was going to forego any approval needed. And at least that's what he gave her the impression that he was going to do. And he kind of flipped the switch when she was there now saying, well, actually, we do need my mom's approval.
Right. He seemed to have indicated that he was willing to get married without it, regardless. Because they plan to get married on this trip, which isn't unusual. It's not uncommon for these kinds of relationships. And I think we've talked about that before, that the women
we have.
who are
and in fact, it's smart. Yeah.
Because it gives another level of legitimacy to their relationship, so they just go straight for the spousal visa versus the K-1. Since they're already going to be up against issues with the K-1 visa and the legitimacy of the relationship because of the age difference and all the same things we talked about with Michael and Angela and why Michael's was denied, they're just bypassing that by getting married. And we know that they do, in fact, go and get married. So Yeah, so it seems like Usman has said that he would get married regardless of whether mom approves or not, and now he's kind of backpedaling on that and saying, "Oh yeah,
Right.
well, I really do," and the friends are like, "Yeah, it's important,
Of course, duh." Well, and maybe he didn't think that it would get as far as her actually getting out there.
and deal with it when it came up."
Well, that's what he kind of says. Like, I don't have the wisdom now. He basically is like, yeah, when it happens, I'll find the right words, which, some people can fly by the seat of their pants, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But, of course, the first situation where we have her doing her storm off, which I don't think it's going to be the last.
Oh, no. And this, I think, is her talking head a little bit later after they go on the tour of his house, which we'll talk about in a minute, but he talks about how controlling Lisa is and how it's like much worse than he anticipated. I'm like, oh, honey.
Yeah. Well, see, because he was able to turn her off before. She started going on the phone. He could just be like, oh, no, my phone died. Somebody
signal.
Called. Nigerian internet, as she said.
Losing signal,
Losing signal, just...
which actually, losing signal, get on your other phone, Usman. Because what did we learn this week? We learned that a lot of Nigerians will actually carry 2 or 3 phones, each on a different network because of
different carrier,
different carrier because of how unreliable they all are.
But I have a feeling that might be like celebrity status, though, because I don't know if everyone. I know I personally don't have the money to have 2 or 3 phones, so I don't know how cheap phones are out there, or plans.
Yeah.
But like.
Yeah, so this getting in the car, his phone is blowing up, and Lisa hates both of them, or hates his phone. There was a continuity error, which could still be a continuity error, or it could be his actually has 2 phones, but she's holding the phone saying it's or no, he has the phone. They show him holding the phone getting in the car, but when they get in the car, she takes the phone and hands it to him saying, your phone is blowing up. So did she have it or did he have it?
One of his friends actually sent me a DM that said he has 2 phones. So I was like, well, thank you for that tidbit of information.
And I got information from several people who said that in Nigeria it's not uncommon to have multiple phones because they carry multiple carriers. So
you can imagine Lisa is twice as happy that he has 2 phones that are both probably blowing up.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, she was really petting that pet bit. Did you see that?
Yeah, maybe that's what she does for like anxiety. She was really petting that teddy bear.
She was going at it. I was like, what is she petting?
It's that stuffed animal bear, right? The one that he got her in the hotel room?
Right. She was petting it as she was plotting his murder. That's what she was doing.
Oh. So then they go to his house.
Yes.
And in his house, he shows her the one bed that he and his boys all sleep on. And she's just like, yeah, no. Good thing we got a hotel. And the bathroom with the bucket.
Right. She's like, this is a celebrity home? I'm like, honey, how many Nigerian homes have you toured?
Right? I love how she's like, this is how a celebrity lives. Like, she's really hanging her hat on the fact that he's this quote-unquote celebrity. That we have talked about this before, about how nobody even knows him. Nobody knows who he is.
Well, he had 20,000 followers on his hacked account, remember?
Oh, yeah, allegedly.
Allegedly.
So, I mean, it's Nigeria still. Like, yeah. In any case, I guess,
I guess I was just kind of like, I felt like she was really rude.
Yeah, well, she is.
Thank goodness we're staying at the hotel, and this is dirty, and no way, and this and that. And I'm like...
If they've been talking for 2 years, how does she not know that already? So that's bullshit. I call that bullshit on that. I call bullshit that she doesn't know that that's how he lives. You don't talk to somebody legitimately for 2 years and not talk about that.
I don't think she was asking for pics of his house, though. Well, I'm pretty sure that's not what she was requesting.
If you want to know about somebody, maybe it's just because I've been in a long distance relationship where I wanted to know, like, show me everything, give me a FaceTime tour, like, you know what I mean? Like, I've been in that relationship where you want to know all these things.
That's probably a sane relationship versus, I think she spent most of her time hunting down how many kissy faces were on his post and tightening up his social media rather than caring about
your Facebook. Well, we know she's also batshit crazy on social media, which we can talk about later if we want.
We'll get to that in our social media roundup because she's a whole segment of her own.
She's a whole thing. Anyway, so
I can't remember where we leave off with them though. Like all I remember is them touring, and then that's it.
I think that's it. Yeah,
I think that's it.
We don't show them getting to a hotel or anything like that yet. I feel like there's going to be something else instead. All right, so Darcy and Tom.
Yes, our two returning cast members.
So this is hilarious because Darcy is like, they show her talking head saying that Stacey forwarded her some images and pictures from social media that I guess she's saying that Florian had them, but I don't know where she really for real got them because I'm actually the one that posted those pictures back in September of Tom with this blonde girl. And I posted all those back in September. They were still airing the previous season of Before the 90 Days when those pictures came out. So as far as timeline goes, that's when they came out, and they were current real time as of when I posted them. So, so she has these pictures of Tom. And they show her at the gym, which is all, this is a complete setup scene, right?
Yeah, I think I can't remember. Like, I get so mixed up with her storyline. I'm like, is she still at the gym? Or
like, have we just seen this scene 16 times?
We've seen this scene so many times of her like doing her 30-second run as fast as you can.
Yeah.
Without any gravity affecting her breast.
I know. That's an impressive implants.
I was like, wow. Like, I used to play tennis, and I had a rather large bust then. And I had, like, 3 sports bras on and, like, another one just so that I could, like, run around. And she's just powering through it. But
she's running like the wind.
Running like the wind. I think that the thing that trips me up is her, like, she keeps going about how she didn't know her and Tom were broken up. And I'm like, I could have sworn that he broke up with her right before the tell-all.
But remember, I think at the tell-all, they allegedly were going to give it another go after the tell-all. I think that's the story they're going with. That's not really the way it played out in real life. Like, but on the show, when they went to the tell-all, like there was this, let's try to work it out thing. And that's the story she gave at the beginning when she first was shown on this season. But here's the thing, like, if she's, Darcy, here's a little, primer for you on relationships. If he blocks you on social media and doesn't text you and doesn't call you and you don't call him and you don't text him and you block him, that's not a relationship.
Right. So when was the tell-all aired?
The tell-all aired in October, towards the end of October.
So her birthday is in September.
Okay. Well, that's when, end of September is when I posted these pictures.
Right. So all this was already happening by the time the tell-all came. So that's where I'm going with. They got back together after the tell-all. After they got back together after the tell-all, where was the second tell-all? Oh, wait. No. The tell-all aired in October. This is where I'm getting stupid. But it did.
It was filmed in whatever months before. I forget.
I have to remember real time versus air time. So that actually makes sense.
Okay.
So by the time we saw the tell-all, she was already broken up with him again, which explains the social media behavior.
Yeah.
And
then everything that happened.
Right.
With the pictures of her and video of her with that other guy.
Right.
I don't know, Darcy.
Oh my God. I can't. My boyfriend does it too. Darcy.
Oh, does
it? Like, stop it. Stop it.
I know, right? Good thing we don't have a hetero life mate in here to do it, because he wouldn't shut up if he gets started.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So anyway, in this scene at the quote unquote spa with Raina and Stacy, and then she's talking about she's going to go to, she's going to own herself and go to New York and whatever she's going to do. I'm not entirely sure.
I don't either. I feel like they're really trying to like play on this whole sex and the city stuff. Like they come to the spa and like,
it didn't look like a spa to me. It looked like a hotel with a pool. But
I don't even know. I think Darcy can make anything a spa. I
think it was like, weren't there kids in the pool?
Probably.
I mean, and then there was, they were walking down the hall and they were wearing heels in their bathrobes around their bathing suits.
And like almost falling out of the bath. Those breasts just amaze me. Anyways, she's going to be independent. She's going to show her worth by going to New York to confront Tom.
Right.
Okay. So we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see what he wants, because it seems like they're gearing up for him. It seems like they're gearing up for him dumping her, but I wonder if they're going to try and flip the script and make him like an asshole and have her like dump him and be like, I got the last word. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, he's been hinting on social media that he's going to look really bad. But
he already looks kind of bad.
Yeah. Like before the season was starting and stuff, and like as they show previews and things, he says that it, like he'll comment on pictures and stuff on Instagram or whatever that it's not going to be very favorable to him. So maybe he's just going to be
preparing us.
Yeah, complete dick or whatever.
I mean, the stories that he's sharing is like low key shade, anyways.
Oh, I know, on his Instagram. Yeah.
Yes. Like when people are inquiring if she has nipples, I'm like,
oh God, yeah. And he's reposting things into his stories that like bloggers and memers are doing about like her Darcy's comments about, oh, this is a Darcy lookalike. When I mean, your opinion may vary on that. Whether
maybe she's looking back in time. Maybe at one time she was a Darcy lookalike, because Darcy has many phases of looks. So Darcy's body dysmorphia is coming full center here.
Oh, I know. Anyway, so he's like shading her in real life. So I guess, we'll have that upcoming scene. We've seen previews of them at a restaurant, and that was actually what we had leaked footage of way back in the day.
Right. But the very, all the leaked footages, like, I always applaud people for getting the images of the sightings, but I'm like, could you just calm down for a half a second to take a clear picture?
I know, right? Because they're so blurry.
They're always so blurry. Like, it's like what do you call those? Bigfoot sighting.
But some of them are also taken really far away, and when you have to zoom in or whatever to get that, then the quality diminishes. So, I mean, they're trying.
I know.
Our fraudsters on the ground, our fraudcasters on the ground, right?
Yes.
That happens with, like, all the pictures we got of Mike and Natalie.
Those were actually more clear, and Natalie at least has a very distinct look with her hair.
Yeah, that's true.
And, that at least helps that they got a clear picture of Mike. So I think they vary, but like the ones of Darcy and Tom that just looked like a Bigfoot sighting, where it's like, if I squint, maybe that's Tom. And then Tom was with Jesse. I was like, maybe we thought Darcy was Jesse or Jesse was Darcy. Who knows? We got the wrong blonde, guys. But someone's having dinner with Tom. But yeah, that's where we leave off with Tom and Darcy's story. We don't see Tom yet. He's doing whatever he's doing.
And so then we go to the Philippines?
We're going to the Philippines.
Okay.
So Ed and Rosemary, they've reunited, and they're heading to the hotel.
United, not reunited.
Reunited.
To reunite, you have to have united once before.
We are reunited with Ed and Rosemary.
We are reunited with them. Okay. Sorry, pedantic.
No, I can't talk today. I've been inside for too long.
I know, right?
So they get to the hotel, and from her impression, I'm assuming she doesn't need or does stay at hotels very much.
She was really impressed with the hotel.
She was really impressed, and I was like, that looks like a typical Hilton. So,
well, yeah, but she lives in a 2-room house with a dirt floor. So.
Exactly. So she's very impressed. We see Ed tries to sneak in one of his head stickers on his passport.
Is it on his passport?
It's
really?
on his passport. Oh, he hands it to the lady, and of course she's holding it, and you see that little sticker. I was like, for fuck's sake.
Really? Is he just slipping those pictures everywhere?
He really does. They're like those stickers you see around the college campuses where you're like, I really don't know what that is, but I guess.
But they're everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then we have them making sure he says that we got to have 2 beds, making my mom get mad or whatever.
Right.
But then they show him upstairs and he's like, I really don't want to get physical with her yet. I want to take our time. And you think he's going to be all nice. Oh, just because let her lead it. No, because the very next scene is until she takes an STD test. So we have Pull 2.0 here. When Pull met Careening, he wouldn't have sex with her until she took what Paul would call an STD pregnancy test.
Oh, jeez.
I can't.
Is that a combination test?
It's. I can't speak Pole. I have to really try to channel my inner Pole to speak Pole, but it's the way he says STD and pregnancy test sounds like STD pregnancy test. STD pregnancy test, something. Anyway, funny. So Ed wants, because he doesn't know anything about her past. But here's the question. She doesn't know anything about his past either.
Right. That was actually hot debate. Maybe not as hot. That was actually debate on the post I made on Instagram of, cool, I think they should both have STD tests. I think they should both feel comfortable with each other.
Any couple should theoretically do that.
Right. But one, he should also be including that he's going to take one also. I think he should take one and she should take one.
Yeah.
So they can both review their bill of health together.
Right. That would be the correct thing to do.
Right. But he makes it seem like it's an obstacle she has to get over. Well, if you want to get this, you got to pass this test.
Right?
Right?
Like, he's all that?
Right. And he's, worried about the beds, or there being 2 beds. I understand for comfort-wise, but, are you saying that sex is definitely going to happen if those beds aren't separated?
Right.
Just drove me nuts. It just drove me nuts.
Yeah. And then she gets in bed and then immediately goes to sleep, or pretends to go to sleep.
She pulled the I'm knocked out thing. He's comes back. She's like,
There was an awesome Twitter. I think it was on Twitter. There was a meme or something. It was Rose playing possum when Ed comes back from the bathroom. And
yes, she just
But then here's the other thing though. She lives in a house where she sleeps on the floor. So if she's in a hotel bed like that, wouldn't your ass be knocked out if your head was on a pillow like that for the first time?
Right. Yeah, he's brushing his teeth. I'm just gonna lay down and go to sleep.
And then, yeah. So the next day they go shopping in the market, and he talks on his talking head about how he wants to take her out and pamper her because she didn't even have pajamas and stuff. So he'd bought her a T-shirt that she wore as pajamas. So he's talking about wanting to take her out and pamper her and spoil her. But then when she spends his money. And then when I don't know. I've never been shopping in that town in the Philippines, so I don't know what the custom is. But when she was keep the change, first of all, it was 17 cents worth. The money, the conversion rate of what that was, the pesos to dollars, it was 17 cents. Maybe that's what you do. Maybe she negotiated it down. You know what I mean? Why is he getting he's getting right pissed off about this. And I feel I feel like some of it is even they didn't show it. There's probably footage that we didn't see where, he's handing her the wallet and they cut it and splice it to make it look like she's just grabbing at it. But then they have him talking about this. And you know, I mean, yeah, theoretically.
Yeah, or maybe the scenes where she actually explains, hey, this is kind of custom for how you shop in the market, 17 cents, we don't, about that, or something. Maybe there was some resolution that was cut from filming that, they had to make it look like...
They have to create some drama, right?
Right, that she's money grabbing. But he took her there to pamper her, so he should have just handed her, like, however much he wanted to spend and say, buy what you want. Like, he was kind of deciding what he was going to pamper her with, which...
Right. If that's really how the relationship starts in this scene, like, that's a little bit of a controlling issue there. Like, I'm going to pamper you, but on my terms, sort of. Like, in my terms only.
Because I don't think he's ready to show her the pajamas he brought for her.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Because he brought her some pajamas.
Oh, yeah, that's not pajamas, man. I wouldn't sleep in that.
That's the point,
they have their uses. Yeah, they have their uses.
Oh.
Certainly, but, yeah, so that whole thing is weird. I feel like we're going to get more from it, but I'm also... The fraudcaster part of me wants to know, like, the entire how that scene went down, like in real life, how that played out, because I feel like we're not getting the full story from either of them. I feel like there was more footage that explains it, and the context is just they spliced it without the other context to make it look this way. But I don't like his statements about that either.
Right.
So, and maybe she explained or something. So there's something that's off with that, and it's setting off my fraudcaster alarm bells. So if we find anything out,
produces. Right.
Yeah, if I can get any inside intel on that filming, then I will let you know. But then we go to Yonkers because we're not in Australia yet.
We're not in Australia yet. It has taken a long time for her to get to Australia.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see it next episode, but...
Yeah.
Well, we also didn't really see her until, like, this third episode.
Yeah.
So it makes sense, the pace.
Yeah. I just feel like we've been waiting for them because we've had such a build-up to them, and I've seen a lot of them, and they've been used a lot in the ads. They're both gorgeous women, so they get a lot of face time as far as in the ads, and they're the first same-sex couple, so they're getting ad space and stuff like that. So TLC is using them, I think, as promos. I know I am because I'm excited to see them, so I'm using them as promos. So I think there's been so much build-up to it that even though they didn't appear until, like, episode 3 or something, it does feel like is she not in Australia yet?
Right. You're like, oh my God, get there, please. Usually episode 3 is when we get to see the other people, so we're still waiting on...
Yeah.
Exactly. So we're still waiting on Erica and, well, I have a feeling we're not going to see anything from Ukraine. But...
But
we'll
we haven't seen with Stephanie and Erica the 24 hours before video package from Australia, because they always show, like, when the American is getting ready to go over or is on the plane or something, they always do this flashback 24 hours previously, flashback to the party that's in that country. We haven't had that package with Erica yet, so.
No. But I have a feeling we will next episode. So
yeah, we start out with Stephanie talking to Erica on FaceTime with her dog. I think that's Melton that she was with. Her black dog was behind her. And that she tells Erica that she wasn't able to come out to her mom about being bisexual. And they talk about sort of the differences in their lifestyle. How, like, Stephanie's going to stay in and eat cheese, and Erica's on her way out to go, like, watch football or something.
and see, I actually, like, feel for Stephanie, because I'm like, yeah, I like to stay inside too. The cheese is debatable, but I like, that's almost like spirit animal level when she's like, I just stay inside all day. I was like, yeah, that's a great thing to do. But
especially these days.
Right, exactly. It airs just as we're all staying inside. But it also brings up, she has medical issues that kind of I think, probably influence her to stay inside.
Right.
And I think she is concerned that Erica's lifestyle, or, it might be a little too fast paced for her. Or maybe, that's what they're setting it up to be.
Right. I mean, I can't like you. I can't blame Stephanie for wanting to be sort of a homebody. My MS kind of dictates that for me as well, but also I'm 5 years old. I'm not going to be out at the clubs.
Well, they are young enough, but
yeah. But sometimes the autoimmune disease just takes over, so you have to learn to adapt around it. And one of those things is that I can't always go out and party the night away, right?
Right.
Or in my case, have dinner later than 6:00 because I'll be falling asleep like an old person. We also learn in this episode that Stephanie has been celibate since her last relationship.
Right. Which I think might be... it's going to be interesting to see where that goes from, because...
But so here's the thing: are they trying to say this, that like other people in between relationships are out just literally fucking around? I mean, you do or you don't, whatever. But like they're like, oh, she hasn't had sex since her last relationship. Well, I think that's true of a lot of people, right?
But we also have to think of the timeline too, because
didn't she just break up with her boyfriend a week before this?
I watched a lot of her YouTube videos.
So what's the real life timeline on this?
I think she broke up with her boyfriend a little bit after January. Mm-hmm. And we are filming for her about October. So it's not like she's been celibate for years. And then, I'm not discrediting the amount of time that someone's celibate, but...
Right, whatever.
It's
each your own. I'm not making any judgments on whether you are or you aren't. I'm just saying I don't think not having sex while you're in between relationships is not like a huge thing.
For some people, it might be. There might be. That, right?
Right.
How can you live without it? But, her last relationship probably had to been... pretty bad if she swore off something like that. So,
right. But then, I mean, I know a lot of people in real life who have done both in between relationships, gone and just had lots of one night stands, and, more power to you, and then have just not done that, and more power to you too. Like, it's all fine. I just don't think it's like, it's this huge, oh my God, she's celibate. Yeah, she just hasn't, she's not out there, a new guy every night, a new guy or new girl every night of the week.
Right. I think what throws people off,
I think they're making it like this big deal.
They are. And her content for, say, Patreon is a bit on the sexual side. So I think there a lot of people are like, wait, you're celibate, but that's...
You
it
sell
just
nudes.
Doesn't... Right.
You still put nude pictures of yourself.
Right. Well, she's probably like, hey, it's easy. I'm at home always, anyway. So,
Right.
Take a few pictures, make a few bucks, keep going.
But I think that's an interesting, the juxtaposition of that, of how she is remaining celibate, and, I guess the previews make it seem like she may not get into it right away with Erica, but she sells nudes. So, like, the juxtaposition of those two things, like, if you sell nudes of yourself, you must be promiscuous, or, like... I don't know. Well, there's some whole social,
right,
sociological component.
We see it as porn for some. I mean, what she does isn't necessarily porn. God, where was I going? In addition to that, you were talking about it not happening right away. I think that is a low-key theme for this season, is earning the sex.
Earning. Like it's something to be earned?
Yeah, right? You have to take an STD first. We'll get to it, but Avery puts Ash in the guest room. Stephanie is celibate, and Erica probably has to earn her trust to get some. Right?
Yeah.
The only person that's like jumped on it is Lisa. So
baby girl Lisa. Yeah.
Right. I mean, she didn't even say you have to earn it. She's like, I've earned it. Let's go.
I know, right? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Yeah, I mean, these people get to know each other. You know, this could spawn an entire discussion on another episode or something, but the whole theory of they've been in this relationship and getting to know each other on a very intimate level. You really get to know somebody, you know, on this level, talking all the time, and you feel very, very close to them, but then you are meeting them for the very first time in person. So you've got this weird mix of you know them really well, but you also don't know them really well. And when is sex comfortable for you if you're in that situation? For Lisa, she's obviously comfortable right away, whereas Ash and Avery, as we're about to talk about, Avery's not comfortable with that right away.
Right, exactly.
She wants a little bit more comfort level with him in person versus just on the phone.
Well, I don't blame her, and we can probably move into them.
Yeah.
Since she's broken up with them, did she say 3 times in the 9 months they've been dating?
Yes, 3 times.
Right?
Yeah.
But we'll get to that. So she finally gets to Australia.
Looking gorgeous.
She looks gorgeous.
She just touched up her makeup on the plane. Dude, how do you not look exhausted? Like, I get, like, brushing your teeth, brushing your hair, washing your face, putting some makeup on as you get to the end of your flight so that you look put together. But she doesn't even look exhausted. She doesn't look like she's been on a plane for, you know, there's only so much makeup can do.
Right.
Right?
The rest might have been a relaxing agent. That'd make you look real calm.
Oh, yeah. Maybe she brought some infused something or other on the plane with her.
All you need to do is pop an edible before the flight. I'm pretty sure that by the time it metabolizes, you'll be cool when you land. Depending on where
19 hours later? Do they last that long? I don't know. I have no experience with this.
I have no clue. You know, with the science of metabolism, it depends on the person, I think. But they share a kiss that I think is probably one of the best kisses.
Yeah, it was cute.
It was cute. Everyone was skeptical because, you know, the relationship coach.
Yeah, but they clearly have a connection. They clearly, like, this isn't made up. This relationship. Which is nice to see. You can see that. You can see their chemistry together, which is nice. Yeah, and then they go to the Airbnb because he apparently lives with his brother or something, and they don't want his brother didn't want all the filming there probably. So they go to this Airbnb.
I can imagine, yeah. Which looks gorgeous. This Airbnb is awesome.
Yeah, and Avery tells Ash, no, you're sleeping in that room. And he's like, all right, you know, whatever. That is what it is.
Right.
And then his gifts to her, the black roses and this bracelet. Now, the thing, before we get into the black roses, this bracelet. So these bracelets says Ash Heart Avery and Avery Heart Ash. And apparently when he first had them, he posted them on social media. Mm-hmm. And she breaks up with him because it was just too much for her.
She felt too loved.
Too loved. But then there's another time one of the other times she breaks up with him was because he had deleted all her pictures off Instagram. I mean, a hacker did. So they broke up then. So either she's too much, too little. Like, I don't know. Is she like the Goldilocks?
She felt too much love with him posting that he was in a relationship with her. And then she didn't feel enough love when he archived all her photos.
Right. So she's the Goldilocks. It's not enough. Too much. Is there one that's just right?
Oh, man.
Yeah. So he gives her the bracelets and then the black roses. These caused more of an uproar on social media than I would have expected.
I know.
I didn't think that. Yeah, you did because you want a black wedding dress and stuff.
My dark black gothic soul fucking loved them.
Yeah, and maybe she does. There was a big uproar about it. Oh my God, that's death! And no, they're just whatever. They're just roses.
Well, if we went into the meaning of, if we went into all the meaning of roses, like I'm like at least
it was something
she
different.
Got flowers.
Maybe she liked him. Maybe there was an inside joke or inside, something about him. Who knows? Like, to me, it wasn't that big of a deal that they were black. I thought it was something different. It was kind of cool and unique. I think he should have brought her flowers at the airport, but whatever.
I think that's so cliche, though, and I hate that he probably knows that. But I think the in private setting of giving her something like that. Because you imagine him coming to the airport with a bouquet of black roses.
Oh, God.
I'm welcoming the Grim Reaper. It's like,
oh, God. It's like the Undertaker's going to walk in.
Exactly. Like, what would you think if you saw that? You'd be like, what the hell's going on here? But I don't know. I thought it was sweet. And her reaction was that she genuinely enjoyed the gift. So if she likes it, then that's what matters. And, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, who knows? Maybe she had talked about it, black roses. Who knows? But I thought flowers and the bracelets were very sweet. And we're, I guess, going to see more about... I don't know. I don't know what their preview scenes look like. I don't remember seeing a lot of previews. Have we seen any previews with them?
Not really. I don't even see, like, a preview of them fighting. You know, there's always that, like, friction scene that they show, but...
Well, what's interesting is watching this is knowing what we know about how Ash has, since filming, Ash has gone to Seattle twice now to visit her. Right. So obviously are they engaged? We don't know. We know he's free to come and go as an Australian citizen, so he doesn't need a K-1 to come to the country and everything. So we don't really know if they're engaged or they're just dating, but we know they're together at least as of the end of filming. Or if they broke up, they got back together.
Well, and their social media mood, I always go by that. On social media, they're pretty kind to each other, so...
Mm-hmm. Which you can't always go by just because they fall, the social media guidelines that TLC gives out, at least they did a couple seasons ago, was try to act on social media like whatever's going on in the show as it's airing, even though what's airing is not real time. They want them to act like it is. So
that's a tough contract, man. Like, I would have blown that out of the water.
Yeah. Well, it was a couple seasons ago. I don't know if it's still that way or how strict they are on it, but that was a couple seasons ago. They did have that caveat, was to act. But I understand, too, that the TLC's former social media person is, like, they left. Or the person who put that directive out has since left. But I could be wrong on that. Anyway. So that's Ash and Avery. Let's go to Vegas.
So next we have our most anticipated couple for this season. Our episode number 4. Our episode number 4 couple, which means
the
that
entry,
they're the most
episode 4 entry.
Dave and Lana. Dave of Las Vegas, Lana of Ukraine. And we meet Dave, who's looking for a mobile home.
Right. Mm-hmm.
He's getting ready for retirement.
Mm-hmm. Those are some nice ass motorhomes he's looking at.
That was amazing. I was like, holy shit, that looks better than my apartment I spent.
I know, right? Does that have granite countertops?
Right? And like gold trimming. It's like, what is going on? But nonetheless, he wants to drop everything and retire and travel, I'm assuming, for the rest of his life, which is a common dream for some.
Right. Drive around
But on
the
the other
States.
hand, but on the other hand, he is courting, how old is she? 27 at the time?
I don't know. Are you talking about the beginning of the 7 years that they've been talking or the end of the 7 years that they've been talking?
Oh, dude, when you say it that way, yeah, they've been talking since she was 20.
Yeah. Well, allegedly since she's 20. We don't know for sure how old she is, but we have to make a comment about the cat. So he lives with his cat, whose name is Mothra, which, by the way, is the name of Godzilla's rival. So for those of you guys who are like, wait, wasn't this in a Godzilla movie? Is this a Star Wars thing? That's where it's from. It's Godzilla.
It's a Star Wars thing. It's Gogeta. Yeah. When he said hi, Mothra, I was like,
a friend who had a dog named Mos Eisley. So anyway, yeah.
So, as soon as he said Mothra, I was like, okay, fine, I like him. A little bit.
Geeks everywhere went, oh.
Ah.
So he he explains how he fell in love with Natasha and Bullwinkle when he was like 5. Now, imagine that being your sexual awakening.
Dude, he's at 5 and he's like, I don't know about this, but this Natasha, she's making me feel good.
Making me feel some type of way, like all tingly.
Oh my God.
5, and he felt, yeah.
And Natasha she wasn't just like, it wasn't just the accent, she was like dominatrix type, like.
Yeah. Yeah,
Anyways.
So that's what he's looking for. He's looking for his Natasha, the Natasha to his Bullwinkle. And he explains how he's talked to her through this app or the website. We'll get to the website in a minute, but through the website that translates it, and it's like, what, $2.99 a minute or some nonsense like that, and how much money he spent because he only communicates with her through the website. So he's got to pay to communicate with her.
Right. There's no other means to communicate.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a minute.
But someone needs to share the app that Anna and Marcel used.
Oh, yeah. No, but then Lana wouldn't get any money.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. She's got to make money.
She keeps it this way so they could keep getting money. And so Dave goes out to eat with his friends, this couple where the wife is Ukrainian. And she talks about how she used websites or whatever to meet her man, or how it was in the Ukraine. Like, that's what they did. And they're trying to tell him that Lana's scamming him. And is it a scam if he knows exactly what's happening and he still does it anyway? Is that a scam? I mean, he believes that Lana loves him, but he has to pay to talk to her.
It's either a scam. So there's, I mean, I feel this, like, if it was truly a scam on his part, I think he would think, I don't know. It's hard. Like, I feel like because, I know I'm skipping ahead here, he spoke to another Ukrainian woman before. I feel like
Anya,
he kind of knows his way around things. I feel like he knows what he's doing. And we see it as him being taken, but maybe he wants to give. Maybe that's like the thing for him is to, shower these women with gifts, and this is how he wants to do it.
Right.
But his friends think he's an idiot.
I mean, surely he knows that true love, you don't actually have to pay to speak with someone. And so he's perfectly fine and willing to do this for 7 years. And so we talk about, you mentioned this woman, Anya, that he met in Odessa, Ukraine. Right. Now, when I saw Odessa, I texted you, and I was like, hey, there's that Netflix documentary called Love Me, which is all about men going on Russian, it's like Russian mail-order bride tourism to Ukraine. Mm-hmm. And they go to Odessa. What that? If you guys haven't seen it, I highly recommend you watch it. It's called Love Me. I think it's still on Netflix, but you can find it. You should be able to find it. Where these men they talk through this website, very similar situation, and then they can the website people arrange this trip out there and Odessa is one of the places. I don't know places in Ukraine. I know Kiev. I know Odessa. Right. And so they go and they take them on like these different social outings where they meet the women that they've been talking to, but also other women. And it's this huge, huge thing, the tourism trade, because that's how the women get out of there. And this is how men like Dave, get married. Right. So I feel like he's been in this Russian wife tourism industry for a while. If he went to Odessa and he had met Anya before on a previous trip, like that's why he's been there like 3 times. It wasn't necessarily to meet Lana. Like he went to meet Lana possibly, but other women too. At least that's how it worked in this documentary. Mm-hmm. Is that you could talk to if there were specific women that you had been talking to, you could try to meet them. They would try to arrange that, but then there was also a bunch of other women. So I feel like that's probably when he says he's been there, 3 different times and she stood him up. I feel like it's on these Russian tourism wife finding trips.
Right.
So that's my thought.
It was a good movie, though.
Yeah, it's a good documentary.
Because it also explained why the guys do it and why they will keep doing it. So I think there's also like a level of I want to do this, where it kind of almost takes the
it's worth it to
out.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah. They know very well what they're getting into with this. A lot of times. And the women know exactly what they're doing, trying to, you know what I mean? So It's very transactional. I mean, you could fall in love, absolutely. These guys in the documentary weren't very successful, but they did say they would go back again and they would keep trying and maybe meet this other person. So in fact, I might.
Lesson learned, continuous improvement.
Yeah. So the website that Lana is on, well, she's on multiple ones. Why don't you tell us what you found?
Right. So, she is on, and what confused me was we found her originally on Russian Bride Int. I'm guessing it means international. She has a profile on that page, and she also has a profile on one called Laudadate. I think Laudadate's the one that we actually saw per the show, just by the look of the user interface with the blue. So I want to talk more about the Russian Bride one because the Laudadate one didn't have all these, gifts and cheesy things on it. So they break down like how much it costs to talk to people, how much credits are, the different gifts you can buy these ladies, and just to give a sense of the cost of some things. So we'll do 265 credits is $119. For 265 credits, you can get a basket of champagne.
A basket of champagne?
A basket of champagne. It looks like it has some fruit in it. Like,
so that's $100 and how much was that? $100 and what dollars?
$119. Like, maybe this is a really good bottle of champagne, but no. 330.
I want to know what the cut is. What the cut the website takes and what percentage of it they give to the girl, which I imagine is very little.
I imagine it's very little, too, because 336 credits will get you 9 freaking roses, and that would be over $200. So, $200 for 9 roses. There has to be a cut somewhere being taken out.
That explains how Caesar... Remember when Caesar spent like $500 to send flowers?
And
Maria?
Dave spent $100,000
because of that.
Right. So over 7 years, you could easily spend that much if you're constantly giving gifts, if you're constantly talking.
No, if she had legitimate interest in him, she would take it off of that website, and they would just go to like WhatsApp or whatever, and she have that conversation like a normal couple. But she doesn't. She keeps it on the website so that the website keeps getting money.
English lessons is one of the things you can buy. So, I mean, if you spend $100,000, he could have spent like maybe $300 or $400 and got her English lessons. So, I don't know. I feel like whatever she's going with is an excuse to why she couldn't take it outside the app. I don't think it was her ability to speak English. I think it was, I'm making $14,000 a year just talking to this dude. So, I mean,
yeah. And if she's doing that with how many other guys, then
right, exactly. Because on her thing it says single. So I'm assuming either that is just a default that she goes to, or she's actually single, and that's just what she does is talks to guys. Because something that Dave's friend said was, by the time you're Lana's age and you haven't married, you're probably just what does she call her, a hunter? Right. So she's that's her job, is she goes after men and sees how much money she can make off of them, as opposed to actually trying to find love.
Right, which we saw with Maria and her friends. They were talking about how that's what they do, right? They all just get on these websites, and this is how they make money. This is how they're potentially getting out of Ukraine, if that's what they want. So it's not like we haven't seen this before.
Right.
All right. So if you want to see those profiles, of Lana, aka Svetlana, is her full name. Hanakawa has those on her social media, which is 90 Day Fiance Today.
At 90 Day Fiance Today.
On Instagram. Or you can go to mine and I'll route you to hers. She found the profiles. You can see the profiles. You can see what you can pay for and all of those various things and which websites they are if you're interested in, joining on either side of, the website.
That was a question. So can American women join on this site?
Like we said this with Maria. I respect the hustle.
I don't have to get on cam. I don't have to do voice. All I have to do is be available and type all day. I'm in.
I'm in for that. I could do that. And then, so that's all we got on them. No Yolanda and Williams in this episode.
No.
We have a little bit of a social media roundup for you.
Da-da-da. So, yeah, it's... So, I think two things I have. So, social media. We were talking about Lisa's social media.
Yeah.
And I think that I don't want to get into all the drama with, the cheating and the messages and stuff, but her Instagram is all over the place. It goes from hating Soulja Boy to hating random bloggers. I do that quotes to loving Soulja Boy again, to him being her man crush Monday. I don't even know what's going on. I feel like there are different phases of Lisa, and it all comes out on Instagram. She'll post 10 things, and then within 15 minutes, they're deleted. So I don't know what's going on.
So crazy. You get whiplash with it. It's crazy. We talked some last week about whatever was going on that she had. There was these screen grabs of him talking to another woman and all this other stuff, which looks like he may have been set up. It's not entirely clear, but it looks like people set him up and were intentionally trying to trap him into that. I don't know. But we have her talking about how much she hates him or whatever, but then today he's her man crush Monday and just loves him so much. So
So either she really does have what would I say, binary posting habits? I don't know. I'm trying to avoid the word bipolar, but it's it's either this or that, or she's deleting stuff, or
Extreme
she's posting
on
strippers, or she's mouthing off towards this, and she has a real hate for anybody who considers themselves a 90-day anything poster.
A fan page, a meme page, a blogger. They call us all bloggers, even though we don't actually have blogs that we write.
Right. That always confused me.
Fan pages, like I said, meme accounts, any of these things that people follow that, we post stuff on the shows, right?
Right.
She doesn't she calls us cockroaches or something.
Something like that. I'm happy to be a blocked cockroach, don't care. But she also decided to go off on people who are doing merch sales. And this weekend she posted something saying how she was going to pursue legal action for anything that she sees related to her or Soulja Boy. She's claiming ownership of anything she says, and so we've always kind of walked this fine line of knowing whether or not the 90-day Fiance themed merch was any kind of copyright infringement or if it fell under the fair use there's a whole lot of fair use literature out there that it honestly would take a lawyer to navigate those waters. So a lot of merch people did reach out to me. I think per someone else's advice, if you are actually worried, to seek out legal advice from someone who's actually in that area of expertise. But, this hasn't been a problem. I think the only two people now that didn't really like it was Robert from last season of season 7 of 90 Day, and now Lisa, who is very vocal about her hatred of it. So,
right.
Anyways.
I know Paul has wanted... He doesn't mind it at all, but he just wants it to get a cut of it. Like, he wants to do it himself.
Of course, but it's like, then do it yourself, right? Like, use your own artistic capability to make your own merch. And we saw that, like, Caesar tried to sell his own merch. And it's really weird to buy someone's merch from them. Like, that's just really bizarre.
Yeah, but I get it. Like, they should profit off their likeness, right? But you do have to. There is this whole filing of trademarks and registrations, and I'm actually in the thick of it at the moment as we speak with my own brand name stuff, the Fraudcast and all this other stuff, and Frauded by TLC and stuff. So it's not as easy as just being able to say, "Hey, that's me. You can't use me." Well. I posted my pictures publicly. You can do it. Yeah, it's public. I put them out there in the world. I can't stop somebody else from using them. They want.
Right.
I can. There's stuff about intellectual property if somebody were to steal that, but a picture of my face is not intellectual property.
Right, and even sharing memes is borderline.
That's parody, and then but where the money making stuff, like, this is a really complicated area of law. I remember learning about some of it tangentially in law school, and it is really confusing. And let's just say on my own trademark issue stuff that I'm dealing with, I do not represent myself. So
there you go.
I know enough to know that I need to pay somebody else to handle it for me. And I live down the street from the Patent and Trademark Office. Like, I can't just walk in there and say, here, trademark this. It doesn't work that way.
Right. There's a whole lot of steps that I've even gone through for my own personal stuff. So, yeah, that's just my lovely announcement for those who have reached out to me. It's too damn complicated. And the end answer to the question I posted was, it depends. And so whenever you get that...
which is such a lawyer answer. It depends is such the lawyer answer.
Right. Every lawyer that reached out to me said, it depends, and this is not legal advice. I'm like...
Right. Okay, so what else did we, with them, was their social media? Soulja Boy.
So Soulja Boy, on the other hand, he's very vocal on Instagram. And so on the episode, we saw that he actually shared a bed with one of his housemates. And so I think, a lot of people were like, wait, you share a bed? Well, this is completely normal to his culture. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like he said, we're all guys. It's fine. Someone had commented or asked him if he was... normal. Right. Someone had asked if he was gay. Of course he's going to respond to that, but it's too R-rated for this podcast. But he basically defends his liking for girl parts and not boy parts, or the back part of girl parts. So
he clarified what he likes to put it in.
Exactly, and it's like, thanks, Soulja Boy. We are
clarified
so
where
glad
he likes
got
to put his penis.
Right.
Yeah. Very graphically clarified where he likes to put his penis.
Good God.
So I think that I know. So we start and end this episode with Lisa and Soulja Boy's girl parts and boy parts.
Right.
For you. You're welcome.
Yay.
We're doing our part to help. And so that's it. That's it for our show today, you guys. I've said this before, and I will say it again. If you want something to keep you occupied during this time that you're stuck inside, I have to work during the day still. But if you have not, if you have the time or whatever, watch season 2 of Before the 90 Days, and then 3 and 4 are really good seasons as well, and also Happily Ever After seasons 1 and 2. That'll keep you busy. We'll see maybe some old school memes from those. If you haven't seen Danielle and Mohammed, you're missing out. You need to go see them. They're on season 2. So that's what I have to that's what I have to say about that. And in closing, I'm very excited to say that the website is about to launch. Yay! We finally just switched hosting providers of the Fraudcast. The podcast was hosted on Podbean. We've now switched to Red Circle. That switchover has gone smoothly, and now that that's all gone smoothly, we'll able to plug in the RSS feed stuff. I'm very excited about the new website. It's coming out, and that will be thefraudcast.com coming up shortly. Yay. And where can people find you? What else do you have to say?
You can now find me. I have erased the confusion of my IG handles, so you can find me at 90 Day Fiance today. Very easy. You can spell it.
It makes sense.
Right, exactly.
We'll still call her Hanakawa, but you can find her there at 90 Day Fiance today. And I'm Frauded by TLC. You can find me on Instagram at Frauded by TLC. You can find me on Twitter, although I say this every time. I'm not big on Twitter, but you can still reach me. I get notifications. If you send me a message there, I will get it. You can also find me on Instagram Friday nights, Frauded Night Live we do, and those will get uploaded to my YouTube, which is Frauded by TLC on YouTube. Please subscribe. I'm getting close to 1,000, you guys. That's my goal right now, is 1,000 people. We also have a Patreon. If you're interested in our Patreon, you want to hear us talking about other reality shows and us just whatever we talk about over there. We recently did an episode. We did an episode dedicated to Love is Blind. We also are covering Love After Lockup, and Life After Lockup, and Married at First Sight right now over there. And that is patreon.com/thefraudcast. You can join us for as little as $3 a month. And for those of you guys who have joined us over there at the $5 level where you get stickers, I will get those stickers out to you. I have to get new envelopes, which is a kind of an issue because I have to order them, or I have to send Hetero Life Mate out to get them because I can't go out to the stores and get them, but I'm out of envelopes right now. So they are coming. Don't worry. You will get them. You will get the stickers. And that comes at the $5 level. Anything else?
No, I think you have covered it all.
Thank you guys for joining us. Be safe out there. Listen to Dr. Fauci, our Lord and Savior, and wash your hands and stay home. We are the Fraudcast. We're dumpster diving, so you don't have to.
This Fraudcast has been produced and edited by yours truly. Art by Sarah Dawdy. Music written, produced, and performed by Mommy. Segment producer at iHeart Reality TV Shows. Further assistance provided by many unnamed fraud consultants.